welcome to this bright and sunny day. I just wanted to do a quick TBR update. I don't have a super ton to say, but there are a few books that I'm DNFing, so I figured I may as well give some updates and stuff on that in case you've been following my TBR and are curious the progress I'm making on things and or are curious about maybe reading some of these books. This is me giving my thoughts and opinions on them and what I am doing with them, basically. So I guess first off, starting with the more pleasant part of it, I did finish the Pregnancy Project, which was a lot of fun is probably the wrong word, but it was a very interesting and engaging story. If you didn't watch my TBR video or don't recall, this is a memoir about a girl who in high school decides to do a senior project where she pretends to be pregnant as like a social experiment so that she can understand like the stereotypes of people who go through that experience and talk about how we should all be able to like rise above stereotypes and not let them define us and all that kind of a thing. So that's that one, and I really enjoyed it. I did also watch the Lifetime movie that was about this. I saw the movie first, found out there was also a book, and I was like, well, then I want to read the book, because that's probably more accurate to the experience, because it's the person who lived through it telling the story instead of a movie, which tends to not get all the facts exactly the same, even if it's keeping like an essence of the story the same when they're those based on true events ones. So yeah, I do recommend both things. I think they're both interesting and a good way to start discussions about this topic. I do feel like the book naturally, as it's the person's own experience with it, did go a little more in depth about some of the experience and stereotypes and things, and even some of the reasoning why that was what she picked as her project. But yeah, so they're both good. If you're looking for a quick, easy memoir type nonfiction, I think this could be a very good one, especially if you like having discussions about books after. It could definitely be a good one. On to the DNFs. So, as I've talked about in so many videos this year, I am working on a Diana Wynne Jones reread of as many as I can find, preferably all of them. However, we have hit my first DNF in the world of Diana Wynne Jones, which isn't to say that it's not a good, fun book, at least in this case. This one is The Tough Guide to Fantasyland, and I don't know if I ever actually read this one, but as I was getting into it, it's not really like a story in and of itself. It's more of like a glossary of here are like some fun fantasy terms and how they're often used as tropes in stories and that kind of a thing. And I'm not going to sit and like read through a dictionary, so I don't really want to sit and read through a glossary style book either. So that's why I'm DNFing this one. It's not to say that it isn't fun and doesn't have good witty commentary, because it is Diana Wynne Jones and she knows what she's talking about with fantasy. It's just not really what I was wanting out of a book. I thought it was going to be closer to a narrative story than we're just like defining terms in a silly way kind of book. So that's why I have DNF'd that one. Hopefully that'll be the only DNF in the Diana Wynne Jones project, but we still have to read Dog's Body again, so we'll see. Yeah, so that's that one. And then I have one other DNF to talk about as well, and that is April, May, Fall. This one I had picked out in large part because I'm also working on a reading challenge through my library, and one of the prompts for that is to read a romance with a single parent, and that is the general setup of this. But I got like 100 pages in and I wasn't really connecting with the characters. I didn't really like the setup. She's like a mommy vlogger who does mostly like yoga videos and stuff, which is fine. But the influencer culture and the way it was written in the book wasn't really appealing to me. She has this big fiasco at a mall where her kids go a little crazy because, you know, they're kids. That's what kids do. But it's like this whole big media event because she's a viral influencer and whatever. And everyone's like, oh no, this is going to destroy your career. We have to buckle down and fix this. And her like social media advisor person is the one who the romance is going to be with. And I didn't like that either. it talks about as one of his things he wants to do as like a recovery plan for her image would be to set her up with this like celebrity YouTube chef or whatever who also has a little kid, and they could do like a kid's cookbook or something. And I was like, that's the romance I want to read, not you dating your social media influencer and like the social media advisor getting together. That is not the romance that I wanted. Give me the cook and the yoga girl. That would have been a fun one. So like all those elements were percolating in my head. And then also the other day I was flipping through just because I was looking like at the page numbers and stuff, and I sometimes like to count down how many pages I have left, that kind of thing. And I noticed at the end that there is an author's note that talks about how there are some open door sex scenes in this book, and that was like the nail in the coffin, because that is not content I want to read. I can skip over it because that's how I got through the Love Hypothesis, and still loved the Love Hypothesis because I did skip over it. But since I wasn't like enjoying the characters anyway, I was like, I don't really want to get to these open sex scenes and have to like skip them either. So I'm just gonna look for a different book that has a romantic lead who is a single parent in it and use that to try to fulfill that library prompt. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to share down below. But yeah, I just wanted to give this quick little like TBR update, say a few things that are on my mind about these books in case you were interested maybe after having like watched my TBR about any of this stuff. But yeah, that's my update. I hope you all are having an excellent day, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is the Umlaut Harper signing out.